Tim Walberg, the former congressman from that district, Republican, who is running again. 59 years old, is on the other end of our line. Good morning to you, sir.
59 years old, and at least made it beyond that to this day, right?
That's right. This is the day the Lord has made, and you've arrived on time and on schedule, and that's what counts most of all, right?
It sure does. Sure does. We've got a lot to do.
Well, we're 6 days now from the August 3rd primary, but first and foremost, what do you know about this oil spill, and give us your reaction?
Well, it's certainly tragic what's happened. These things do happen, but it's amazing that very time after a long, lengthy battle in the that has been handled very, very poorly from both sides so far, except from a storm that now has dissipated most of that, it appears. We have this happening right here in the little old 7th District of Michigan. Mm-hmm. I was driving yesterday early in the morning toward Battle Creek and began to smell that petroleum smell, and wondered if had gone wrong with a car in front of me or whether something had gone wrong with my own car. And then I crossed the Kalamazoo River there just before Beetle Lake Road and saw the operations taking place next to the Bridges Park on the Kalamazoo River there. It was just amazing to see the type of damage that had already been done there, and then to see pictures of it in the paper and read the efforts that are at this point in time slowly dealing with it, but certainly not sufficiently.
At a time when we are touting pure Michigan, and everywhere I go in the country, people talk about the effort that we're doing to think about having your windows down in the summertime and having the smell of oil, crude, petroleum, it's enough to make you lose your breakfast.
Well, it certainly isn't what we want to smell in the morning in Michigan. And living in an ag district here, you have a lot of fragrances that are around you that just come by natural function.
Sure.
This was not something of natural function. This was a breakdown system, and it has to be addressed. And hopefully, as a result of it, we'll find a proper way of handling it for the future and protecting against it. I was talking with a gentleman yesterday that was just incredulous that there weren't some pressure release valves that would have certainly not stopped some of the spill, but would have kept 840-some thousand gallons of depositing itself in the Kalamazoo River and surroundings. And so it'll be interesting to see as time goes on how this is handled, what develops from it, and what precautions are taking that are realistic and still meet the needs of our environmental concerns, our safety concerns, but also meets the needs of moving forward in handling the energy and commerce process that goes with petroleum.
The cause of the spill under investigation. The oil spilled into Talmadge Creek that flows northwest into the Kalamazoo River. That site in Calhoun County's Marshall Township is about 60 miles southeast of Grand Rapids, and the governor says so far the response has been anemic, is the way she described it.
Well, I guess it remains to be seen what should have been expected, what could have been done, and what will be done. And I think that's the process right now. Looking at the Gulf, we still don't know exactly what caused the breakdown, the explosion that took place on the derrick platform. And I'm sure that it'll take time to understand what produced this as well. However, it is what it is, and leadership, I hope, will step up to the plate and do what's necessary, not pontificate on issues, not posture politically, but get it accomplished for the good people of Calhoun County, the Marshall area, and more importantly, for the functions that must go on in commerce here in the United States and dealing with energy systems as well.
Politically speaking, in the last 20 seconds or so, I understand there's an independent poll that shows you have a 31-point lead in the primary next week against Brian Rooney.
Well, we're 6 days out, Michael Patrick, from that election, which will be very historic in my life, that's for sure, and other people's lives. Yeah. And Bill Ballinger released a poll, said that I had a 31-point lead over my nearest competitor. And that's a good thing. However, that's just a poll. And
just a poll. Next week, the biggest poll of all, the primary. 6 days left. Mr. Walberg, good luck to you, and we'll talk again the morning after. It's Michael Patrick Shields.